It started on a Tuesday night, right after the first snowfall of the year. I had just come back from my late shift at the diner, tired and half frozen, my breath still visible in the air inside the old farmhouse. My boots left wet trails across the wooden floor as I walked into the kitchen, tossing my keys onto the counter like always. The house was too quiet, the kind of silence that presses into your ears. I turned on the old radio in the corner just for company, but the static only made it worse. That's when I heard it, a song. Soft, low, faint, like a whisper carried through the walls, humming at first. Then the lyrics. "Hush now, baby, don't you cry." I froze. My blood turned cold, colder than the wind that had followed me in from the snow. That lullaby. I hadn't heard it since I was 17, since the fire, since she died. My mom used to sing that song to me every night when I couldn't sleep. The way she sang it, gentle but haunting, had stayed with me long after she was gone. After the fire gutted our house and took her with it. They never even found her body, just ash and scorched beams. I had moved back into the rebuilt farmhouse last year. Part of me thought it would help me heal. It hadn't. I stood there in the kitchen, not daring to move. The singing was coming from upstairs, from her old room. Each step up the staircase creaked like a warning. The air got colder the higher I went, and that humming, and it didn't stop. It grew clearer, closer, like she was just around the corner. I reached the top landing and turned toward the room that had been sealed for a decade. I hadn't opened it since I moved back in. I didn't need to. Everything inside had been destroyed, but the door was open, just a crack. Inside, the room was lit with a soft golden glow like candlelight. I pushed the door gently, my fingers trembling, and it opened without a sound. What I saw made my knees lock. There, sitting on the edge of the old bed, was a woman with dark hair tied back in a messy bun, wearing the same soft green sweater I remembered from childhood. She was humming with her back to me, facing the window. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. She turned her head slowly. It was my mother. Her eyes met mine, and I couldn't tell if they were full of love or sorrow, or something else entirely. She smiled, and then she whispered, "Why did you come back?" I didn't answer. I couldn't. My throat tightened, like invisible hands were wrapped around it. My mother, or whatever she was, and stood up slowly, the floorboards groaning under her bare feet. The golden light in the room flickered, like it wasn't coming from a candle at all, but something older, something unnatural. "I waited," she said, her voice still soft, still musical. "I sang every night, just in case you'd hear me." I stepped back, but my heel caught the edge of the hallway rug. I stumbled, nearly falling, but steadied myself against the doorframe. This isn't real," I said finally, my voice barely more than a whisper. She tilted her head, that same little gesture she used to do when I'd say something silly as a kid. "What is real, sweetheart?" "The fire was real. The screams. The way you ran." "I didn't run," I snapped, the words surprising me. But she only smiled wider. "Didn't you?" she said, taking a step closer. The light behind her dimmed again, now revealing the blackened walls beneath the surface. The wallpaper curled at the edges like scorched paper. Ash drifted in the air, and the smell, thick, acrid smoke and burning hair, hit me all at once. I gagged. "You left me," she said almost tenderly. "You always swore you'd come back for me." "I thought you were dead," I said, choking on tears. On guilt I had buried for years. The firefighters, they said no one could have survived. She was just a foot away now, but I couldn't move. "I survived longer than they thought," she whispered. "Long enough to scream your name. Long enough to know you didn't come." She reached out her hand, pale, scorched. I took a step back, but something behind me creaked, like another footstep. I turned my head, and for a split second, I saw a shadow move across the hallway behind me. Not hers. Something else was in the house. She saw it too. Her face changed. "Go," she whispered suddenly, her voice full of panic. "You shouldn't be here anymore." "What? Why?" "It followed me," she said, eyes wide now, darting to the dark hallway behind me. "And now it knows you're here too." The humming stopped, and the air grew cold. I didn't wait to ask questions. The fear in her voice wasn't the fear of a mother trying to scare her child. It was real, deep and raw. Whatever she meant by it followed me, I could feel it now too. The pressure in the air, the sense of something watching. I turned and bolted down the stairs. Behind me, I heard her scream, not in pain but in warning. Then silence. The lights in the hallway burst as I passed them. Shadows flickered on the walls, and for a split second, one of them moved against the grain of the others. It was tall, too tall. Thin arms that bent the wrong way. No face, just emptiness. I reached the front door and grabbed the knob, but it was ice cold and wouldn't turn. Locked. No, held. The lights went out. Then the singing started again, but it wasn't hers. It was the same lullaby. Yes, but twisted. Slower, off-key, malevolent. It slithered through, the air like smoke, curling around my ears, wrapping around my thoughts. I backed away, heart pounding until my shoulder hit the coat rack by the door. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A single message lit up the cracked screen. Don't listen. No number, just that. Then a whisper, right behind my ear. You came back for her. Now stay with us. I turned, swinging blindly but hit only air. Then a blinding flash, and silence. They found me the next morning, curled up on the porch covered in soot, eyes wide open but unseeing. They said the house had no signs of recent fire, though there were scorch marks on the upstairs walls. Fresh ones. They don't know how I got out. I don't know either, but I know what I heard. And sometimes late at night, when the wind is just right, I hear it again, that lullaby, soft, calling me home. And I wonder if the next time I hear it, I won't be able to leave.